I'm actually not saying anything. Not yet. All right. Deep breath. Let it out. It's been a long week, and it was a wonderful weekend. And now we're getting ready for Monday. Kevin, hello. You're the first one to jump in the pool. Congratulations. I appreciate your bravery. Laura, it's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Gosh, it's 7 o'clock already on Sunday night. My name is Shannon LaBruyere, and I am here to help you thrive in change. The changes that you want, the changes that you didn't want, the changes that you designed yourself, the changes that other people imposed on you. I'm here. It's Sunday Night Live, and I'm alive and loving it. Chuck Yorba, good to see you. Denise, I'm glad you're here. Thank you guys for jumping in, spending some of your Sunday evening getting ready for what I hope is going to be an encouraging word, because that's what we're going to talk about today. Oh, Giselle, good to see you again. We're going to be talking about encouragement. And this is a true story. And wait a second, before I get started on my story, feel free to tag a friend, invite him to come in and listen to this. It's going to be good. You won't be sorry, and they'll thank you for it. This is going to be a fun story, but even funner tips. I say funner tips, more applicable tips. How's that? Fun is all good, but sometimes we just need rubber hit the road type of stuff. Hi, Deborah. Glad you're here. Yeah, the hearts, exactly. All right, so in 1986, I was carrying mail. And I want you to know that carrying mail is one of the most hardest jobs in the entire world. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. Nina, glad you're here. Thank you. I'm talking about 1986 when I started carrying mail, and it was the hardest job that I had ever done to that point. And I walked into the post office on a hot summer day, ready to start a new job, a new career, and I was met with resistance. The people who were there already doing the job didn't particularly want me there. The supervisors didn't seem too particularly glad to see me. It was the time of great upheaval in the Postal Service at the time, so there was a lot of angst and anxiety, and it just wasn't a welcoming atmosphere. So I walked into a very hard job. I was a brand new mom. I had a baby that I was nursing who was 3 months old. It was not an easy thing. And from the moment I stepped into that office, I got zero encouragement. Hi, Gina. Zero encouragement. And a great example of just how little encouragement I got was when the tornado came sweeping through the city. So I hear the sirens going off. I'm out there. I'm carrying mail. It's raining. The sky gets black. The sirens are blaring. People are running for cover, and I am out in the middle of a street with no shelter and nothing. And I mean, people are running for cover. And so I went to a house and asked, could I please go in and call the office, because I needed to find out what to do, because I knew it wasn't safe to be out there like that. And so when I called back to the office and I told them, the sirens are going off, there's hail, people are running for cover, they're telling everybody they need to take shelter, the supervisor who answered the phone, this is a true story, said to me, call me back when it gets bad, and hung up. I hung in at that job for 89 miserable days. And on the 90th day, they fired me. And I want to tell you that when they fired me, I cried thousands of joyful tears. I was so happy. I was so relieved. It had been so awful. And I also cried a lot of fear, tears of resentment, because doggone it, I didn't want to get fired. I know, it was awful. It was a terrible experience, and I got not one word of encouragement in something that could have been a wonderful experience. Nina, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to leave the story there, because about a year later, I hired in at a processing plant, a mail processing plant. And when I got there, people welcomed me with open arms. And my trainer, her name was Janie, she was the most awesome encourager ever. And so when I would be out there lifting 70-pound sacks and dumping them onto a belt or a conveyor belt, or lifting them up and putting them into some rolling equipment so they could go to another office, 70 pounds, a whole semi-trailer full of them, 70-pound sacks. And I'm out there, lifting them up. And Janie's right next to me. She was 30 years older than I was, and she kept saying, Shannon, I am 30 years older than you are. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get it done. And you know what? I spent many, 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 many years as a happy mail processing plant worker because she wasn't the only encourager who was there. All the difference in the world. 2 really hard jobs, strenuous. They were back-breaking. It was a lot of new stuff I had to learn. But the difference was, on one hand, there was no one there who wanted to say, you can do it, go, go. And on the other hand, there was a person who was saying, I know you can do it. You've got this. This is awesome. So give me a thumbs up. Have you had an experience like that? I know you have. Who's had an experience where you thought you couldn't make it, but somebody was there to say, you can do it. You can do it. Go, go, go. Right? Yes, absolutely. Yes, Nina says she has. We need that. So that's why I'm going to talk about encouragement, because we all need to give it and we all need to receive it. So what is encouragement? Oh, Nina, thank you. I think you're awesome too. And one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. So there you go. Inside and out, I'm sure, but especially outside. Just so you know, Nina, you're gorgeous. Okay. What does the word encouragement mean? Encouragement is this. It's the action of giving support, confidence, or hope. Support, confidence, or hope. There are people all around us that need support. They need encouragement. They need hope. They need to have a sense of, I can do this. And it is free for us to give that to them. All it takes is a little bit of intentionality. We have to think of it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And why should we bother? Why should we care? I know the first job that I had carrying mail, the people there told me to my face, hey, it was hard for us and it's going to be hard for you. And they were proud of the fact that they had to suffer so much. But nothing was gained by making me suffer. I went home every night and cried. I could barely take care of my baby. My husband came home one day because I did not have encouragement. He came home and found me on my porch weeping. I don't even know how long I was sitting there for the whole world to see. It was bad, people, because I didn't have any encouragement. That's the kind of difference we can make when we decide to encourage somebody. We can change their life, literally. I want you to think for just a minute. Who has changed your life with just one word of encouragement? Maybe it was years of encouragement. Maybe it was years of hand-holding and listening to you cry and telling you get back on that horse, you can do it, you're going to finish that class, you're going to get that degree, you're going to go out there and you're going to make it happen, right? Paula, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. So we all need to look for somebody in our life that we can encourage. For one thing, it is one of the most influential things you will ever do. You will never be more influential or have more than an impact than when you are encouraging somebody who desperately needs it. A lot of us crave to be great leaders. We crave titles. We want to be high-level managers. We want to be at the top of our company. We want to rule the world, so to speak. The way you can influence people the most is by being the person who gives them hope, support, and a sense that they can do it. So, first thing, if you want to be a person of influence, that's why you need to encourage people, because it will change their lives. The second reason is, when you give something away, it tells your psyche that you have plenty and you feel better, right? I saw some thumbs up. Yes, Linda, I'm glad you're here. Yes, when we encourage somebody, when we give them the encouragement that they need, it encourages us. We get the gift that we are giving away simply by sharing it. Because when we are giving somebody those words of encouragement, that support, yes, thumbs up, the support, the encouragement, the hope that we wish we had, we get more of it because that's how it works. The more you do it, the more there is. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Thanks, Linda. Yes, it is the best. Encouraging other people has such an impact on us. That leads me to give you 5 tips. These are 5 ways that you can give encouragement. And so if you don't usually have a pen or a pencil when you're watching Sunday Night Live, you might want to grab one. You might want to plan to grab one just in case some great idea comes to you while we're having our exchange, while we're talking. So these are the 5 ways that you can give encouragement so that it has the biggest impact possible. Because if we're going to do something, we might as well do it with as much purpose and as much intention and as much impact as we possibly can. I am a firm believer. Don't waste our energy. The more impact we can get, the better it will be. So these are 5 ways that you can be a great encourager. Number 1, be sincere. That almost goes without saying, but how many of us have had somebody who just kind of walked by and said, hey, it'll be fine, it'll be all right, and they just keep on walking? And that doesn't work, does it? Sammy, I'm glad you're here. It doesn't work when we aren't sincere in the encouragement we're giving. All right, for example, do not tell the person that is 4'5", who is bound and determined that they are going to be a center in the National Basketball League. Don't be encouraging them that they can do it. That is not really sincere. Do you really believe they can? If you don't believe it, don't say it. This is the thing. There is something you can find to encourage people that you believe. Use that. That's the thing that you want to tell them. Be sincere in your encouragement. Second thing is, do it personally. Be personal with it. Go up to somebody, touch their shoulder, pat them on the back, shake their hand, give them a hug, whatever's appropriate. Look them in the eye and say, I've seen how hard you're working. I know sometimes it feels like you're never going to finish, but you are going to make it. Connect. Do it personally. The third thing is be specific. I was at a church a couple weeks ago giving a leadership training, and I was there for service. And there was a young woman who led the worship, and she did a beautiful job. She sang beautifully. She led us all in just this great spirit of worship and praise and reverie. It was beautiful. And she was flexible, so she didn't just stick with the script. She allowed herself to feel what's happening and what do I need to do next. And I told her when the service was done, you did a great job. And I kept on walking. Well, okay. So she knew somebody said she did a great job, but she didn't know what she had done. She didn't know why it was so good. She didn't know. So Linda, thanks for dropping these in the comments. That is great. So if people don't have a pen, they're going to be there. Awesome. Thank you so much. Linda Palazzolo is writing these down for you guys, folks. So if you don't have a pen. So this woman I was encouraging, you did a great job. And I kept on going, and that was fine. But a little bit later in the afternoon, as we were going a little bit deeper in the leadership training, I realized that I hadn't been as effective as I could be in encouraging. And so I said to her in front of people, I said to her, what you did was amazing. You were flexible, you were sensitive, you were respectful, you took some risks. It really worked well, and I just loved watching you and being able to participate. What a difference. Her face lit up, and it should have, because it was true. I was sincere. I was personal. I was being specific. And number 4 is do it publicly. I complimented her. I encouraged her in front of people. That's what my trainer Janie did. She would encourage me in front of everybody else. Shannon's got what it takes. She knows what she's doing. She did a great job over there in that area. She cleaned it up. It was awesome. And she said that in front of other people. And that gave me credibility. And I felt like I could do it. And it allowed me to feel like I fit in. So be sincere. Do it personally. Do it specifically. Do it publicly. And number 5 is do it frequently. Do it more frequently than you think is necessary, because people, I'm telling you, they are just like we are. We've all got stuff, and a lot of times we don't show when we need that encouragement. And a little bit of a word here or there is going to make all the difference in the world. Sincerely, personally, specifically, publicly, and frequently. That's how you can be a great and effective encourager. Okay, so what if you're the one who needs encouraging? I know that some of you are thinking that. I'm down in the dumps. I'm dragging here. I lost my job. I've got issues. Nobody's encouraging me. I've been there. I've been there a lot. So I'm not pointing a finger. I know I have been there, feeling sorry for myself. I need encouragement. How come people aren't encouraging me? So I'm going to ask you a hard question here, and I want you to think about it for real. Do they know you need it? Do they know you need encouragement? Because sometimes we are really good at putting on the happy face or acting as if we've got everything under control. And deep down, we're running out of hope. We're running out of confidence. We wish we had support, but we aren't allowing people to know that we need it. I'll tell you where there's a great win. You know how I was saying we need to encourage people because when we encourage them, we get that back? How about this? How about share a little bit of your story? I'm not saying go to people and just go on and on with a sob story or give them too many details. TMI, we've heard that before, right? Too much information. Oh no, here she comes again. Shannon's going to be blabbing about all of her problems. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sharing your story, sharing your authentic story with the person you're trying to encourage. Let them know that you've had a few issues too. Let them know that you aren't exactly always the hero. We have a tendency sometimes to tell people all of the good stories about us, where we came out on top, where we did everything right, where we were just always knew exactly what to do, and we never flagged, our faith never wavered, and we made it. And we have some of those. But we've all got the other ones where we were dragging, and we were just barely making it. Tell those stories too. Share the authentic stories where you received encouragement so that it can help other people. That's one great way for you to encourage yourself, because as you tell that story of how you overcame to that person who needs to know, it's going to boost your spirits. It's going to reinforce your sense of confidence and capability, and it is going to encourage you while you're encouraging someone else. The second thing that you can do if you need encouragement and you're not getting any is to give it to yourself. Raise your hand if you've said to yourself in the last 24 hours, oh, that was stupid. To yourself. That was stupid, Shannon. I used to say that all the time. Oh, Shannon, that was so dumb. Oh my gosh, that was stupid. I met with a young lady this week who told me a beautiful, inspiring story that was very encouraging. And then at the end of it, she rolled her eyes and says, I know that I was just so stupid. That was so dumb. No. Don't say that to yourself. Don't do it. You need to speak life to yourself. You need to encourage yourself, right? Yes, I'm seeing those hearts. You can speak life to yourself if there is no one else in your world that is right now. You can tell yourself, I can do this. I'll be all right. I've never done this before, but I'm going to be okay. It is so funny what happened when I changed the way I spoke to myself. How much more successful I was, how much easier it was for me to accomplish something new if I was learning a new task or a new skill. It is amazing the difference when we tell ourselves we can do it versus beating ourselves up because we can't. Susan, I'm glad you're here, and Missy, I'm glad you jumped in, right? So thumbs up to that. So listen to how you're talking to yourself. Don't discourage yourself. You want to encourage yourself. You want to speak life and truth and hope and confidence to yourself. because when you do that, you build yourself up. Speak the words of encouragement to yourself. Speak them to the people that you're trying to encourage. Carla, I'm so glad you're here, right? We encourage ourselves and we speak words of encouragement to other people, and we do that sincerely, personally, specifically, publicly, and frequently. When we encourage others, we encourage ourselves. When we're authentic with our story, we encourage other people. Carla, hello, beautiful Carla. I'm glad to see you here. So this is the thing. Every one of us has an internal narrative that we talk to ourselves all the time. Every one of us does it. Hi, Frank. I'm glad you're here. Every one of us does it. That internal narrative that you're speaking to yourself, if that's not filled with words of encouragement and hope and support, a way you can help reframe that is to say things with your mouth. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, Shannon. Shannon, you've never done this before, but you're doing a great job. Shannon, you're going to be okay. I was making a bracelet. I've never made a bracelet before. I was stamping letters in it to create my word for the year, which I'll talk about another time. And I had to hit this letter stamper with a hammer. And I must have tried it 5 or 6 times. And one time I almost hit myself. Another time I didn't hit it hard enough. And I was getting so frustrated. And my brain was going a million miles an hour. And so I said this out loud. You can do this. I do this. Shannon, you've got this. You're going to figure it out. This is easy. It'll be okay. Give it another try. Said it out loud. So speak words of life to yourself. Let your ears hear a voice, even if it's your voice, speaking truth and goodness and encouragement. All right? So that's our lesson on how to encourage people and be encouraged ourselves and why we should do it. Now, this is the important part, actually. I want you to think for a minute. Who is somebody that encouraged you when you needed it most? Who is a person that encouraged you when you needed it most? Reach out to that person and let them know, thank you. And write down in the comments, if you're going to do that, say, I will. I am going to thank somebody for encouraging me. And I want you to think about, who can you encourage this week? Put some action behind what we've learned. Who can you reach out to and encourage in their life right now? Maybe they're struggling. Oh, good job, Samantha. I'm glad you're in. Yes, thank somebody who encouraged you, and then reach out and encourage somebody else. Pay it forward, like they say. Pass it on. It is going to create a ripple effect, and you will be amazed. Good job, Luke. Yes, brother and sister Cook. Isn't that the truth? They are encouragers by nature, and they're very intentional about encouraging. So excellent. Thank you, Luke, for sharing. And if you can share their names, I'd love to know who it is that's encouraged you. I would love to know. And maybe they need some encouragement back. So for what it's worth, I hope you've been encouraged by Sunday Night Live tonight. I've loved sharing it. I really am alive and loving it. And I want you to have that same kind of enthusiasm. And that's what this little half hour on Sunday nights is all about. If you don't already follow my Facebook page, which is Support Life with Shannon LaBruyere, go over there and hit like. I'd love to have you there. I post some things there and some announcements sometimes you'll be interested in. Also, if you're not on my email list, you can go to shannonlabruyere.com and sign up. And I am working on getting some consistent good stuff out there for the people who are on that list. Right now, it's been a little shaky, I'll be honest. So I'm working on getting that to be a consistent connection for us, because I value you jumping in on this. I value it. I appreciate it. I'm really honored, and it brings me joy. So I hope you've been encouraged. I am encouraged to see you here and your comments. Write down in there who you're going to, write down I will if you're going to thank somebody for being your encourager, and if you're going to encourage somebody else. A little bit of accountability goes a long way, and this might be a great place to just drop it in, and it's a little reminder for yourself to spread some of the good that you want to see in your life. Have a great evening. Have a wonderful week. And I look forward to connecting with you sometime in the next 7 days. I hope you have a great one. I will see you all soon. Emma, thank you for jumping on. We are just wrapping up, but fortunately, you can go back and watch the recording and you won't be very far behind at all. Just about 25 minutes is all. So thank you for being here. Mwah, I love you. Goodbye.